time to let you know. I think it's time to let you know. To let you know. I think it's time 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 to let you
You know, I never smoked marijuana in high school. Never touched it. Because that Nancy Reagan had this amazing marketing campaign. Okay, just say no. You'd get up, you'd look at the cartoons in the morning, there'd be an egg on the TV, right? Then they cut to a frying pan. It's like, this is your brain, okay? This is your brain on drugs. You'd be like, and I went through my entire high school years without touching marijuana. I tried it for the first time when I was 23 years old. Freaked out, had a fucking panic attack. Said I would never try it again. Then a few years later, someone handed me a joint at the party. I'm like, okay, I'll try it again. I tried it again. Freaked out, panic attack. Said, never going to try it again. Never going to try it again. Then I moved to Los Angeles, tried it again, and said, well, this stuff's pretty good, actually. It's hard not to smoke pot in a town with a marijuana grocery store in every corner.
No wonder so many people are dying of cancer. Look at the 33 chemicals that cause cancer. You see the damage that these chemicals do to the body, and yet people want you to believe that all these chemicals are good for you. They must be smoking dope. It makes no sense to poison your body with these industrial chemicals found in marijuana smoke. In fact, there are 20 times as many carcinogens in marijuana than there are in cigarettes. It's a shame that there's so much disinformation out there in the public. Many of the search engines highlight all these sites that seem to say that marijuana is so good for you, but they don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to know that all these chemicals are in there destroying and eating people's bodies away. So many times people are being deceived by these fake news sites, these pro-marijuana sites, thinking that certain of their celebrities have been cured by marijuana and hemp oils, such as Tommy Chong, a very big hero of the marijuana industry, and he actually has cancer. We knew he had rectal cancer due to his marijuana smoking, but now we understand his cancer returned, even though he said he was 99% cancer free, boasted about it, prompted a lot of people to want to legalize the drug. Oh my goodness, marijuana cures cancer, they said. But it was a lie. It wasn't based on real scientific data and supported evidence. You can't allow people to push an industry like this, which is going to negatively affect the health of so many people, reduce people's IQ, shrink their brains. It did nothing to shrink his tumor, even though he took hemp oils, but hemp oils right up his butt. It did not do a single thing for him. Now he's going to be on chemotherapy. The very type of chemicals that so many marijuana enthusiasts say, oh, we shouldn't even take it. But what has happened is that once people get cancer, they're trying this hemp oil stuff and it doesn't work. It's nothing but snake oil. It's a lie. It's a fraud. And now the truth has come up. This very person, this hero of the marijuana industry, is going to be on chemotherapy because although marijuana may take care of pain or whatever, of course, any drug could do that. Any drugs do that right now. Better drugs than marijuana do that. Still, he's taking chemotherapy, the drug that you were told not to ever take if you have cancer. But it's actually helped people. It has actually helped people, and you'll see more examples of that where people who claim to be cured from marijuana actually combine it with chemotherapy, claiming that it actually helped them. The doctors believe it did do better for them than smoking dope. Here's another hero who died of cancer. You think he smoked marijuana? His name is Bob Marley. He talked about marijuana, smoked it all the time, promoted it. People think, oh, he's so creative and cool. And he got melanoma cancer, skin cancer, and it ate his body up. You hear me? It ate his body up and then went to his brain, and he died of a tumor. This is all scientific. This is all public record. But it's a shame that the marijuana industry doesn't tell you about these people. Scott County man, Bennett McKenzie, he said he was cured from marijuana oils, and he dies of cancer. The cancer ate his body up. People are being lied to. So many people. Benton McKenzie dies. He was convicted of growing marijuana, treating himself, but he died of cancer because the marijuana did nothing. There's no proof that it helps with epilepsy and other things too. Another father dies. He claimed, oh, marijuana cured me. See, these people are scamming you. You look at all these fake news sites promoting marijuana, but there's people who are trying to get rich off of the industry. This guy, David Hibbett, he was age 34. He dies of cancer, and he promoted cannabis oil. He made money off the internet, claiming that this cured him. He ended up dying of cancer. This is a fraud. This is a con job. You're being conned, people. And your life is at risk. When you smoke this stuff, you inject this stuff, you drink this stuff, you put in your brownies, you're going crazy if you do that. It's giving you panic attacks, it's destroying your nervous system, you're putting chemicals in your body that's killing you. Paul Morsi, another guy, he was a marijuana oil advocate. All these people are guinea pigs being used to push an industry that's designed to make wealthy socialist billionaires even more wealth, while the blood money of all these victims who use marijuana and promote it to a next generation. It's nothing but pure marketing. They're marketing this poison, and then once it's regulated, what's going to happen? More and more people are going to get cancer. So, oh yeah, it actually causes cancer, and now we can sue these companies that are actually pushing marijuana. Well, of course it caused cancer. You knew it did. This guy, Paul Morrison, was an advocate. He talked about the benefits of marijuana oil treating cancer. It did nothing for him. He's dead. And now here's the biggest guy, Rick Simpson, who claimed that marijuana cured him. But he also doesn't want you to know that a lot of the people who promotes this marijuana also took chemotherapy. And that's the shame. And people need to know the facts that he also took forms of other means. He didn't just take marijuana, but he also combined it with chemotherapy. And that's what's really happening. The more people realize this, the less people are going to be suckered in to a bunch of bunk from these people. Most of these people have terminal cancer, and the cancer is eating their bodies up. But they had, oh yeah, I did take chemotherapy too. But this guy claims you shouldn't take any chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is bad, but the reality is that it's curing people. Many of the studies put forth aren't even about cancer. Most of the studies were preclinical studies looking at cells culture models and mouse models. Some of the studies found evidence that cannabinoids, under some circumstances, can actually stimulate cancer growth. It's like interleukin 10 as a protein that it does stimulate cancer growth and possibly contribute to tumor progression. Many of the studies involve trials in cannabinoids to treat cancer-related symptoms and side effects, not cancer itself. Finally, the studies taken as a whole suggest that some purified cannabinoid oils or cannabinoids antagonists might be worth investigating, but further, it does not prove that cancer is cured by these cannabinoids. Alright, there are a lot of interesting research being done, but what we do know is that no matter if you smoke marijuana or you ingest marijuana or you inject marijuana, applied topically, it does not cure cancer. There's one thing that we can clearly say, according to the scientific research. A man named Dr. Gorski has discovered this, and we need to take that to heart. Japanese Times, a medical marijuana advocate dies of cancer. Here's a guy who was on trial. He promoted medical marijuana. You saw him before on the internet, Masumasu Moto. And this guy pushed marijuana all throughout his life, promoted, and he ended up dying of cancer. He claimed, oh, marijuana's helping me, it's helping me. And so it didn't help him at all. It made things worse. You can't expect to put all those dangerous chemicals, industrial chemicals in your body and expect something not negative to happen. It's going to happen. And look at all these people dying so necessarily, cancer eating his body away. Is that how you want to waste your life? And look at these companies like Green Rush. They are pushing websites to push the marijuana industry, and they're elevating those sites by giving them more hits. This is a company, if you want to push your marijuana, pro-marijuana sites, it pushes it. And look at all these sites. Everything's pro-marijuana on the Google hit list. It's designed to get you to think that marijuana is actually good for you when it's really not. Oh, I'll tell you the truth, pot's not bad for you. It is bad for you. And now the FDA is finally saying pot doesn't cure cancer. Stop saying that it does. How many more people have to die? And why are you going to waste your life on this chemical? Why are you trying to waste your life making these other rich socialists rich? When people are allowed to illegally market agents that deliver no established benefit, they may steer patients away from products that have proven anti-tumor effects that could extend their lives. You understand what I'm saying? These cannabis and derivatives of cannabis oil are not a panacea. It just does not work. The THC stays in your body, it does damage to your body, and people need to know the evidence that there is no evidence for it working. It doesn't work. And all this cannabis cult leaders that promote it are just trying to push a universal panacea when there's no evidence for it. And you need to be aware of this so you're not hook, line, and sinker, young person. You need to realize that these people are lying to you on the internet because they're trying to push the industry. Oh, it helps epilepsy, helps AIDS patients. The only thing it probably helps is pain. But you can take an aspirin, you can take an Advil, you can take an Aleve or something like that. Other drugs that help with pain that we know that works. But these other things that says cannabis cures cancer is a lie. They need to stop pushing this. It actually weakens your own body's immune system. How in the world can it help you? And without a strong immune system, you're susceptible to cancer. According to science-based medicine, cannabis does not cure cancer. Medical marijuana is promoted as a seemingly panacea that can cure whatever ails you. In particular, it's touted primarily in the form of cannabis oil extract as a cure for cancer that, quote-unquote, they don't want you to know about. While there are potentially useful medicinal compounds in marijuana in general, the medicinal marijuana movement vastly oversells the promise. While some cannabinoid oils do have modest anti-tumor activity in vitro, there are no compelling evidences that it cures cancer. Even the Huffington Nothington Post had to admit that cannabis does not cure cancer. The problem is that though there are many who've reported having been cured or seen their tumor begin to shrink once they began rigorous cannabis treatments, their stories are overwhelmed by the number of instances where individuals in chemotherapy for the oil at the painful or crucial juncture and die within weeks or months. The quality of life always reportedly improved. The nausea and pain from the chemo goes away, the appetite returns, but the cancer returns even more in a vengeance. And so when they took this chemotherapy, they decided to stop taking chemotherapy, and the cancer just returned and ate their body up. And that's what's happening. It's a lie. They're frauding so many people. Even the cannabis had to admit that medical pot is unproven for many illnesses. It may be good for multiple sclerosis and some pain, but when it comes to anxiety, sleep disorders, Tourette syndrome, there needs to be more research because the information is unconvincing. In fact, there's strong evidence from high-quality studies that is lacking. All the articles suggest that marijuana is not the wonder drug that people thought it was. And also, the editorial journal says an approval of many states is based on poor studies. So why would I legalize marijuana when we don't have the research to back it up that it actually helps people? It hurts more people than it helps. Drs. Deepak Cyril D'Souza and Mohammed Raghunathan said in an editorial that perhaps it's time to place the horse back in front of the cart. They know that repeated recreational marijuana use can be addictive and say unanswered questions including what the long-term health effects of medical marijuana use and whether it's justified in children whose brains are still developing. It's already been proven that when children around marijuana smoke, they lose their IQ potential.
Welcome to Informed TV, and today our topic is that cannabis does destroy your immune system. Regardless of what you've seen on TV, regardless of what you've seen on the radio or heard on the radio, regardless of what you've seen and heard online, the truth of the matter is that marijuana literally does destroy your immune system. It suppresses your immune system. And to show you this, I wanted to go to an actual scientific document, a journal, okay? This is called webmd.com. We're going to go to another one as well, and another area. We're going to find more information about this marijuana and what it really does to people, okay? Okay, first of all, it says cannabis may suppress your immune system. There it is right there. It may suppress your immune system. And it's important for us to realize that when your immune system is shot or suppressed, that means your white blood cells are not activated or they're not working properly, and they're not able to kill off the infections and diseases and sicknesses and microbes that are in your body. So it causes a whole host of health problems. When you have a low immune system, that means a disease gets worse. Your body can't fight off the flu or these viruses fast enough or quickly enough. Now, in some cases, having an overactive immune system would mean that you want something to suppress it, let's say lupus or some type of arthritis. Then you want to take some kind of medication that would help suppress that overactive immune system, because lupus, of course, breaks down your tissues and your muscle tissues and those type of things, your organs. And so you want something to suppress that immune system from doing that. But surely you don't want something to suppress your good immune system if you're healthy. It doesn't make any sense for a healthy person to want to suppress their healthy immune system. So, for example, if you have some sort of infection, you have a cold or whatever, that cold is going to get worse. If you have hepatitis or some other kind of disease where you need your white blood cells to be functional, you're going to have a hard time fighting that if you don't have a functional white blood cell systems working for you. One of the aspects of marijuana is that they destroy your immune system, not only your white blood cells, but also your regular blood cells. In fact, there's a side effect of smoking marijuana that actually destroys your bone marrow itself. But first, let's talk about cannabis, that it does suppress your immune system. And we'll let the page do the talking for us today. All right.
April 15th, 2003. Cannabis may offer hope to people with autoimmune disorders such as lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. Cannabis seems to decrease inflammation in the body by suppressing certain parts of the immune system. Researchers are hoping this finding will lead to new treatments. Previous studies have hinted at immune system abnormalities among cannabis users, specifically in the function of immune system cells called T lymphocytes and natural killer cells. While these cells help the body fight infections, no direct link with lowered immunity has yet been shown. In this study, researchers tested the blood of 29 cannabis smokers, 13 occasional users and 16 regular users, weekly or daily use. They compared the results with a group of 32 non-smokers. Again, researchers found that cannabis smokers had fewer immune-enhancing natural killer cells and lymphocytes, and higher levels of a protein that may promote tumor growth, called interleukin-10. These changes can dampen the immune system's response to infection, increasing susceptibility to infections, and promoting growth of tumors, states lead researcher Roberta Pacifici, PhD, with the Istituto Superiore di Sanità in Rome, Italy.
Okay, so there you have it. So these people were tested, and what's interesting to me that we should stress is that these people had higher levels of a protein that may promote tumor growth called interleukin-10, all right? They also had fewer immune-enhancing natural killer cells and lymphocytes. So that means they had less white blood cells to fight off those illnesses and those diseases. So that's why when people say that, oh, well, cannabis is good for those who have lupus. Well, do you have lupus? Why would you take cannabis if you don't have lupus? If you, let's say, oh, well, cannabis is good for epilepsy. Well, do you have epilepsy? Do you have a need to dampen or dope in your mind so that your mind doesn't function as well because you have an overactive nervous system? Is there any reason for you to do that? No. Why would a healthy person want to damage their mind or to cause their mind to not function in tip-top shape unless they had an issue? You know, this cannabis causes so many other elements and things. And it's a shame that so many people are taking this when they're perfectly fine and they're healthy. You know, so of course it's going to say, researchers also say that the findings could lead to new treatments for people with autoimmune disorders, current treatments to suppress immune systems, whereby calming abnormal immune responses that plagues people with the conditions. Again, if you don't have lupus, where you have a disease where your white blood cells are attacking your body and your muscles and things, why in the world would you take cannabis in the first place? You know, that would be a medical use of marijuana. But why are we trying to medicate people who are not sick? You're actually you're causing sickness in a sense, you know, and also cancers and tumors. You know, you're lacking that ability to fight off tumors. In fact, you're actually getting a protein that helps create more tumors, which is a shame. Okay, now let's go over here to the next page here. We're still on WebMD, and we're going to learn about how marijuana affects you. All right, because I think people need to know this, because marijuana does so much in our body. So it's time for us to see what the scientists and the doctors actually say about marijuana. Let's not go to these people who make money off of selling marijuana, who make money off of marketing and creating this wonderful panacea storyline about marijuana that gets elevated in all the search engines with Google and YouTube and things. You've got these people, these cultural Marxists, I call them, who are trying to push drug addiction in American culture in order to destroy the American culture. It's a form of demoralization, by the way. These people want to destroy culture by pushing drugs. And if you look at the Soviet art of brainwashing, one of the recipes that Russia had in order to attack democracies was to promote drug addiction in the culture. That's right, drug addiction.
And that agenda is best illustrated in the book The Soviet Art of Brainwashing, Psychopolitics and the Suppression of Man and Civilization. Let's hone in on the words suppression of man and civilization. You see, the people who are behind this book were from Russia, and their objective was to suppress the American people and our civilization. And this book also illustrates where liberalism in America came from. They have a disregard for truth. They have a system of commanding the clueless, distracted, and the demoralized, that they demoralized. It was a documented methodology of how communists in Russia would destroy and control and weaken America from within by way of destroying its morality, the spiritual life of the people, and destroy the family unit. This would create the conditions in society for the people to be ruled by a powerful few. And they would do so by creating the collective apathy that will permit their tyranny. And one of those moves and approaches the socialists did was to push drug addiction and drug usage in America to weaken the country. While the political left in America defended communists and socialism in this country and pushed it, they literally became the useful idiots of communism. This book was used in underground schools and contains the address of Berea to American students in Lenin University prior to 1936. The text in this book is from the Communist Manual of Instructions of Psychopolitical Warfare and was used in America for training of communist cadre. Now, a cadre is a key group of trained and devoted workers capable of forming, training, and leading an expanded organization. This book was also used to train future communist-affirming leaders who would infiltrate government posts with the United States, such as the socialist progressives in Congress. There it is, by making readily available drugs of various kinds. And when you legalize a drug, you're making it readily available. You see, those who lean socially liberal help pave the way for dictatorial governments ran by organized crime. The advancement of drug addiction and its imagery serves to create the mass, mind-numbing condition of apathy until it's normalized. This allows tyrannical leaders to do whatever they want to do, regardless if it's criminal, immoral, treasonous, or even destroys their national security, because the people become too divided, distracted, self-absorbed to even care.
Their goal is to not only spread alcoholism and pornography, but also promote drugs of every single kind in the culture. That includes America. All right, so we're going to let the page do the talking for us, so you can hear it for yourself and watch it for yourself.
Ever smoked a joint or eaten a pot lace brownie, you're hardly alone. More than 1 in 3 people in America have tried marijuana at one point in their lives. Though the occasional use isn't usually harmful, pot can affect your body and mind anytime it gets into your system. Here's what you need to know. Physical effects. Marijuana comes from the hemp plant Cannabis sativa. It has an active ingredient called THC that makes you feel high. THC and other compounds in marijuana can also affect the way your body works. Most people smoke the plant's dried leaves, flowers, stems, and seeds. But marijuana can also be mixed into food, like brownies, cookies, and lollipops, brewed as a tea, or inhaled with a vaporizer. No matter how it gets into your system, it affects almost every organ in your body, and your nervous system and immune system, too. When you smoke pot, your body absorbs THC right away. If you eat a baked good or another item, it may take much longer for your body to absorb THC, because it has to break down in your stomach before it enters your bloodstream. You may notice changes in your body right after you smoke. The effects usually stop after 3 or 4 hours.
Okay, now we're going to go a little further here. This program, of course, reads just about everything. But we're going to start right here. All right, let's see if this machine will... I'm just going to read this part here, just in case. All righty, here we go.
Smoking pot can increase your heart rate by as much as 2 times for up to 3 hours. That's why some people have a heart attack right after they use marijuana. It can increase bleeding, lower blood pressure, and affect your blood sugar, too. We don't yet know if marijuana is linked to higher odds of getting lung cancer. But the process does irritate your lungs, which is why regular pot smokers are more likely to have an ongoing cough and to have lung-related health problems like chest colds and lung infections. Other physical effects of marijuana include dizziness, shallow breathing, red eyes and dilated pupils, dry mouth, increased appetite, slowed reaction time. If you drive after using marijuana, your risk of being in a car accident more than doubles.
Okay. So if you're a long-time user, you can have physical withdrawal symptoms like cravings, irritability, sleeplessness, less appetite when you stop. Let's go to the next page here. This is serious right here. Let's go through all this stuff, and so you can really listen to it. Sometimes it's good just to listen to the content because it helps you to really absorb what's really going on, you know? Okay, here we go.
Changes to mind and mood. Most people use marijuana because the high makes them feel happy, relaxed, or detached from reality. Smoking pot can also have less pleasant effects on your mind and mood, too. You might have a distorted sense of time, random thinking, paranoia, anxiety, depression, short-term forgetfulness. These effects usually ease up a few hours after you've used the drug. Risks of marijuana use. Though you may have heard otherwise, marijuana can be addictive. Nearly 10% of people who use it become dependent on it. It isn't clear whether marijuana is a gateway drug that makes people more likely to try harder drugs like cocaine and heroin. Continue reading below. The amount of THC in marijuana has gone up in recent years. Most leaves used to contain between 1% and 4% THC. Now most have closer to 7%. Experts worry this might make it easier to become dependent on or addicted to marijuana, and it also strengthens many of the drug's mind-altering effects. Even if you buy from a legal, state-regulated dispensary, it can be hard to know exactly how much THC or other compounds found in marijuana you're ingesting, so the effects can be unpredictable. Marijuana can also cause more health problems if you have a condition like liver disease, low blood pressure, or diabetes. If you're a man, heavy use could lower your testosterone levels and your sperm count and quality. That, in turn, can zap your libido and fertility. Research shows a link between marijuana use and mental health problems like depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, short-term psychosis, and schizophrenia.
Okay. So there you go. There you have it. You have a drug that can actually make matters worse. So why would anyone want to take this kind of drug? Why would anyone want to take it? It makes no sense whatsoever, you know. And we have people today telling you that, oh, it's fine to take this. It's fine to take this kind of drug, and we know that alters the mind. So when you alter your mind, of course, it's altering different aspects of your mind. And that's why people are having panic attacks as they drive. If you just type in the words online, panic attacks and marijuana, you'll even see on YouTube all these people who suffer from these marijuana panic attacks. Why would a person want to subject their mind to all that drama? It's too much drama, you know. And I want to encourage you, young people, never smoke marijuana, never take the drug at all. I don't care what your peers are doing. I don't care how they think it's cool and chic. They're trying to destroy you. Misery loves company, and you don't need that drug. All you need is something positive in your life. You don't need anything to make your mind dependent on something that was never intended to be dependent on. You're supposed to have dominion over the earth, over the plants, not having this little plant having control over your own mind. That's ridiculous. A little leaf controlling you. It's foolishness. You become a slave, in other words. to the drug. Now, I want to encourage you all to consider the shirt that I have here. It's called Weed Killer. I don't know if you can see it real quick, but I'll just show you right here. Weed Killer. There's going to be a link on this video where you can actually order the shirt. I want to encourage all of us to join the revolution to help destroy the marijuana industry across America. And one way we can do it is by wearing the hoodie, or you can get this in a t-shirt. You can match your size accordingly. And when you click the link, you can say, okay, what size you want. If you want a hoodie, or if you want a t-shirt, or like a long t-shirt or shorter t-shirt, all depends on what you want. We want to make this accessible to everybody. And also in the back of the shirt, you're going to notice all the side effects of marijuana. And I encourage every young person to buy this shirt, get this shirt. Maybe teachers can buy a whole lot of these shirts. Principals in schools can buy a bunch of hoodies to encourage a positive reinforcement or create positive peer pressure against marijuana smoking, because marijuana can become a gateway drug. Sometimes when people start marijuana, they go into heroin or other things, but you don't need the stuff. It's going to destroy your IQ permanently. Why would you want to become stupider, sicker, and less safe? It makes no sense. But I want you all to consider joining the revolution and represent by getting one of these t-shirts or hoodies. See, it comes in a hoodie. It's winter time. You can just say, man, I'm going to represent, say no to dope. Don't be a dope. Don't smoke it. Don't become a dope. Don't smoke dope. Just say nope to dope, And the design is pretty cool. It says Weed Killer, crosses out the marijuana plant. But you can represent in your school, and you could be saving another life. Maybe one of your peers might be thinking about smoking dope, and they look at that t-shirt, they look in the back of that hoodie, and they say, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I want you all to be a leader. Be a leader in your schools. And don't be a follower, be a leader. And a leader will help influence people the right direction. Not the wrong direction, but the right direction. And take a stand. Be bold about wearing the t-shirt. Be bold about wearing the hoodie. Because you may be the only answer, the only educator that will help your young person, your peer, from making the bad decisions. You'll be the one who's preventing them from making that wrong decision, that wrong turn in their life that could be detrimental for the rest of their lives. You could literally be saving a life by purchasing one of these t-shirts or hoodies. All right? But just learn about the subject and go to the website called realdope.tv. You'll see some good content, some good information that will help you. I encourage you to know more about this awful drug. All right? Now, we're going to go to that website right now. Okay, Real Dope. Just type in Real Dope.tv. Go there, and right now, this is the official page. It will become a website eventually. But until then, we're going to get to the Facebook page. All right, and you can learn more about this particular drug. Learn about marijuana, okay? All right, and right there, the first thing you see here is that t-shirt. You can actually click on this link. You can order the t-shirt from right there on the website itself. And it shows all the different side effects of marijuana usage. All right, you'll find some other articles that have been posted, scientific journals and things, where it talks about marijuana. We're going to look at this one here, how marijuana suppresses the immune system. All right, this is just another one here. This is from Live Science. So don't let them tell you that, oh, there's no scientific research that shows that marijuana suppresses your immune system. They're lying to you. I mean, think of it now. There used to be a time when people said smoking was good for you, smoking tobacco, and then all these people started getting lung cancer. But in marijuana, you have no one to sue except yourself. Well, you can't sue yourself. There's no big company that you can sue after smoking the dope. And the negative effects of marijuana. Look at it. You got a drug that literally can contribute to schizophrenia, all types of autoimmune diseases, and tumors itself, because it produces a protein that creates more tumors. That might be new to you. You probably never heard about that before. Also causes lung damage. You're inhaling it so much deeper than even cigarette smoke. So that tar, that cancer carcinogen-filled tar, is getting right into your lungs. For men, testicular cancer. Get your balls chopped off like that, So it's just way too much drama. Why have all that excess drama in your life? There's no reason for it at all. No reason for the excess drama. All right, so Here we go. Now, they have no machine to read it, so I'm going to read it to you. How marijuana suppresses the immune system. This is from Life Science TAF, and this is dated on November the 29th, 2010. Okay? Smoking marijuana can suppress the body's immune system, which explains why pot smokers are more susceptible than non-smokers to certain cancers and infections, according to a new study. All right, this is a new study. This effect of marijuana is due to chemicals in the drug that fire up the body's production of immune system cells called myeloid-derived suppressor cells. Okay? While most immune system cells are protective, fighting infections and cancers to keep the body healthy, these cells suppress the immune system, keeping in check according to the study. Cannabis is one of the most widely used drugs of abuse worldwide and is already believed to suppress immune functions, making the user more susceptible to infections and some types of cancer. Name is Prakash Narcotic. His name is Nagarta. A microbiology and pathology professor at the University of South Carolina said in a statement. All right. Now, again, we're on Live Science right now. You can see the website right up here at top, where I'm highlighting way up top. You can see that Live Science, marijuana suppresses the immune system. Let's go down further here. Okay. Nagarkati and his colleagues have focused their study on cannabinoids compounds found in the cannabis plant to see how they affect immune suppression and tumor growth. Their study included pain-relieving compound delta-7 tetrahydrocannabinoids, which is THC. The researchers injected one group of mice with THC and compared them with a group not injected with a compound. The mice injected with the THC had more of the immune-suppressing cells than the mice who did not receive the THC, according to the study. The researchers found that marijuana triggered the production of a massive number of myeloid-derived suppressor cells, leading to immune suppression and cancer growth. By activating the cells that respond to the cannabinoids found in marijuana, researchers said, cancer patients have more of these cells than healthy people. The suppressor cells can even hinder cancer therapy and promote cancer growth, the study said. Okay, so these cells are actually creating the conditions of cancer. Do you want cancer? Do you want your body to be eaten up by disease? Carl Sagan had something like that. He had a certain kind of illness, a blood cancer caused by marijuana smoke. He's smoking marijuana. Marijuana
Cannabinoids
present us with a double-edged sword. Nagarkati said because they can cause increased susceptibility to cancer and infections, but they can also open the door to opportunities to treat disorders that where a suppressed immune system is beneficial, such as arthritis, multiple sclerosis, lupus, hepatitis. Remember, we were talking about that before. If people have an overactive immune system, then you could use the marijuana. Marijuana can suppress that overactive immune system. But for healthy people who have a normal immune system and they want to smoke it recreationally, it makes no sense. Marijuana is going to suppress the immune system, and to prove it, some will actually use it to treat people with overactive immune system. So now, why in the world would a healthy person with a good immune system want to depress their own immune system? It makes no sense. Unless, let's say, hey, we want lupus, we want this or that, these kind of diseases. It makes no sense. You don't have those things. You don't have multiple sclerosis. You don't have lupus. You don't have advanced arthritis and hepatitis and those kind of things. So why in the world would you want to suppress your good immune system? Makes absolutely no sense. You're killing yourself. You want the flesh-eating bacteria to eat you whole and alive because you don't have the immune system to fight it. There's so much that goes on. If people just take this drug just by recreation, we like the high. What's going to delay you? You feel like you're accomplishing something, but it's really the high effect. And then when you're done with the high, you're still in the same condition you were at before. You've procrastinated your whole life away. People who started taking the drug when they were teenagers and now they're in their 40s and they've done nothing with their lives. They've accomplished nothing. They don't even think properly. They think schizophrenic. Their mind is not thinking rationally. And they have psychosis and all kinds of hallucinations. This is what's happened when you're smoking weed. You're just tuned out. You're not using your mind. Who's going to hire a person who's not functioning in all four cylinders? Now, who wants to hire a person they know smoke weed or pot and all that kind of stuff, and they're not fully functional? They're not going to be good in school. They're going to drop out of school. They're more likely to not pay attention in class because they're tuned out. They have short-term memory problems and long-term memory problems. I mean, there are people with mental diseases and illnesses who wish they could think clear. They wish they can think fuller. They wish they can think faster. And yet you who are intelligent, I don't think it's that intelligent, but you who think you're intelligent, who normally have good grades, why would you suppress your own mental capacity? That makes no sense. A social terrorist, only a social terrorist would try to convince people to take a drug that made them dumber. A person from outside of America, it would take a person outside of America, or you assume that a person outside of America who hated America will want to push this drug on the American people to destroy them from the inside out, to weaken the nation from the inside out by weakening the minds of the next generations who are supposed to be the next generation of leaders. And they can't think clearly. They're easily persuaded. They're easily manipulated. And yet they're left screaming at the sky because their person wasn't elected, because they're frustrated and they don't know what to do. They scream helplessly at the sky because they feel completely helpless and powerless. You've got to make decisions, better decisions for your health. This is a drug that is hurting people. It's destroying minds. It's warping emotions. And it's time for us to take a stand as American people and say no to this dope. Say no to marijuana. Say no to all of these illegal drugs. And keep marijuana illegal. Don't promote it. Don't legalize it, for goodness sake. It's not helping anybody. Don't think about the tax dollars, because what good is those tax dollars? Number one, it's not giving you many tax dollars as you think it is. Number two, you've got teenagers now smoking the drug, and they're dropping out of school. So now you have lower quality of students come out of schools, remaining uneducated, not going to college, dropping out. That's your citizenry, Colorado. That's your citizenry, Washington State. That's your citizenry, California, New York, or whoever wants to legalize this mess as poison. That's your citizenry. They're becoming dumber and dumber and dumber. And you are the social experiment. You states who want to legalize this pot, make an industry out of it, thinking of bringing businesses, the money that you're making is blood money. You're sacrificing the lives and livelihoods, the intelligence and the futures of people who are victims of this drug, and you're making money off of their bad choices. That's a shame. You should be ashamed of yourself. No, in fact, I used to think about working for a drug company, these drug companies. I said to myself, no, I don't want to push a drug that I know is going to weaken their bodies, or there's so many side effects of these drugs. Look at these drug commercials. I mean, these are legal drugs, mind you. And you look at all the side effects of those drugs and you say to yourself, you know what? If I get old, I'm never going to take that drug. In fact, I start studying more natural remedies and things. And I start saying to myself, I would not want to even take any drug that causes these kinds of illnesses and diseases. But here you have a drug that causes not only sleeplessness and dizziness and other things, but you got a drug that literally causes so much more. Let's just look on the back of this shirt here that many of y'all will buy here. All right, let's just go here and let's look at the other side of it here. Okay, marijuana mess. Schizophrenia, memory loss, psychosis, paranoia, panic attacks, impotence. That means you can't get it up. Myelodysplasia. That's what Carl Sagan, one of the smartest scientists, had. He said he was a big pot smoker. He said, marijuana is a great thing. I think it should be legalized for everybody. And he ended up getting blood cancer from it. That's what blood cancer is. Myelodysplasia. Infertility. Want to have kids? Think again. Not going to have it with marijuana. Permanent IQ loss, especially when you're a teenager and young. Depression, low testosterone. Yeah, depression. You think, I want to smoke because I feel down and everything. Well, it's going to make you depressed. It's dopamine. It makes you down. It dopes your life, you know. It leads to depression. Testicular cancer, all right? When you get that testicular cancer, guys, you're going to get it lopped off. You won't have anything left for yourselves as a man. You lose your manhood, okay? That's what happened to Tom Green, the comedian. He had one of his balls just plopped off because of smoking weed. Look at his history. He smoked marijuana, and that happens to be the side effect of smoking dope. Okay, he used to joke and laugh about it in his show called Jackass. That was the name of his comedy show. And he ended up becoming the butt end of the joke. He had testicular cancer, and I'm sure to this day he would encourage people to say, hey, I wish I never smoked this stuff. He also, some of his comedic platforms, as he was joking about it, he was talking about his panic attacks he used to get. I mean, this is a guy that smoked it, so he had panic attacks. Why will you paralyze yourself and inhibiting yourself from being able to drive a car because you want to smoke a joint, and then you get these panic attacks, you can't even drive the car anymore, you got to pull aside the road, halfway causing an accident. You got people all the time having DUIs, driving while under the influence. So many accidents are not being recorded is because of marijuana smoking and impaired driving, okay? Makes no sense. It's drama that you don't need in your life. Poor education and job outcome, impaired driving and thinking, kidney failure, birth defects, glazed expression, hallucinations, impaired learning and judgment, antisocial behavior. You know, you see people who are shooting these guns out at people. They're antisocial. But they were smoking pot though. Some of these big mass murder killers, you know, they had mental issues. Yet they were able to get a gun, and they didn't like the president. They didn't like a certain political party, and they went out shooting out people like the OK Corral. And if you look at their history, they were pot smokers too. And that's not being reported much at all. But you can see that they were pot smokers. And their minds became paranoid. They got psychosis developed. Schizophrenia developed. And now they're going out shooting people now. You promoting marijuana is causing this problem. You know, and you should be ashamed of yourself. You who have stock in the marijuana industry, I hope your whole industry and your stock, you lose money, because you should lose money as more and more people wake up and not want to smoke the stuff. Why are you going to poison people, get rich off of poisoning people? You're worse than a jerk. You're a social terrorist. Let's put it that way. All right. You're promoting marijuana. You are a social terrorist because you're killing the next generation of children by diverting them and demoralizing them to a place where they're self-destructive. They're in a self-destructive state. Shame on you. If you've been doing that, stop doing it and join the revolution. Join me and the revolution to educate people about this drug. Go and sin no more, in other words, okay? It causes procrastination, severe anxiety. I said severe anxiety. You want to be full of fear, panic, and anxiety. Can't even go outside your house. That's what happens when you smoke this dope. It makes no sense whatsoever. You're suicide prone now. You think about killing yourself. I mean, that's ridiculous. A drug, well, there's drugs that get sold to the market where you have suicidal tendencies. Here you have a drug that's from a plant and you're smoking it. The plant has so much control over you that it's telling you to kill yourself. What a shame. What a shame, shame, shame that you're listening to a little leaf tell you to kill yourself. It makes no sense whatsoever. You need to start listening to God for a change. Listen to Jesus. Read the word, okay? But the word is that marijuana is not worth a hill of beans. All right, let's go further. Low immune system, altered brain development. Oh my goodness, if you're a woman and you're trying to have children, that child's going to have altered brain development. And as you grow older, altered brain development.
A University of Texas in Dallas study of brain health determined that after MRI techniques were given, which are multiple magnetic resonance imaging, they discovered that those users of marijuana had brain abnormalities where the brains shrunk. After researching 48 adult marijuana users versus compared to the 62 non-users, they determined that those who smoked marijuana had less white matter. And even though they had more interconnectedness in the brain, after 6 to 8 years, so those interconnectednesses in the brain actually broke off and they began to wither away. Also, those who smoked marijuana was proven scientifically, according to the Proceedings, which is a peer-reviewed journal, that they had a lower IQ. So they had permanent IQ loss. It's been documented, it's been proven. Therefore, THC is not good for you, regardless of the pseudoscience you may hear on the internet.
Also, we mentioned kidney failure and birth defects. Oh my goodness. Do you want your child to be deformed? That's what marijuana will do to you. That's exactly what it'll do to you. And you want to have kids, you want a child with all this crippledness and dysfunction, you could thank your marijuana smoking for that. Who knows what the secondhand marijuana smoke is doing? I mean, the same toxins are getting the air. If there was a company out there, a big multi-billion-dollar company, and they were putting out smoke out in the air, and that smoke was full of carcinogens, causing birth defects, causing infertility, impotence, panic attacks and stuff, paranoia, schizophrenia. If people were developing these illnesses, don't you think they would want to sue that company right out of business? They would want to put lawsuits out. They would call all the people they could think of, high-powered lawyers. Basically, you would want to sue that company, wouldn't you? If you were affected by these type of diseases, testicular cancer, because that smoke that was coming out there, kidney failure, now your body's blowing up with all kinds of fluids. When you have kidney failure, you're going to have congestive heart failure, which means you're going to have blood thinners and all that kind of stuff. It's ridiculous, okay? It's totally unnecessary. But now you get all this drama because that company was putting all that smoke in the air, and now come down to where you live today. You are the smokestack.
And you are a bad parent if you smoke marijuana in front of your children. According to ScienceDaily.com, 1 in 6 children were hospitalized for lung inflammation positive from marijuana exposure. Few states where marijuana use is legal restrict its use around children. According to the article in American Academy of Pediatrics on April 30th, 2016, a new study found that 1 in 6 children, infants, and toddlers were admitted to Colorado Hospital with coughing, wheezing, and other symptoms of bronchitis tested positive for marijuana exposure. Marijuana literally turns people into a walking biological hazard.
And you are inhaling every bit of those same chemicals that are causing those effects. But you have no one to sue. You have no place to go. You can't sue the dispensary because they're not liable. You bought the stuff. You chose to buy it. You can't sue the ground because the ground produced the plant, but you made the choice to do this. You've poisoned your own body and your own mind, your own emotions, and your own mentality. It is a shame. Today, let this be the day that you stop smoking weed. Let this be the day you say, I don't need this stuff. Young person, you don't need this stuff. And you need to take a stand. You need to take a stand against this, okay? Addiction. Now you're addicted to the stuff. You're addicted to the poison that's killing you. I have an uncle that had lung cancer, and he smoked weed, okay? You want first-hand knowledge of a person that smoked pot? He not only smoked pot, he used to sell pot. He died in his 40s. He died young. I remember him, and he was a pot smoker and a pot distributor, and he had lung cancer. Do you hear me? That is a real person that I know for sure, for Sheezy personally, who smoke weed. All right, and I know there's some other people that I know personally who developed schizophrenia, had panic attacks. I know someone who had paranoia issues. They were smoking pot. I know other people who dropped out of school. I had to help this one guy who he's 21. He dropped out of school, was kicked out of the house because he wanted to smoke that pot. And I encouraged him to get off of it. And now I think he's off of it now. But he had a struggle. He had so much drama in his life. He was delayed basically in his life. Getting a good job, getting a good education. Marijuana delays you in life. It's not worth it. It's stupid, okay? Marijuana makes you dumber, less safe, and sicker. All right, and there's no reason for us to take this stuff. Now go to realdope.tv, learn more about this awful drug, get the truth about it. These other people are being promoted online by YouTube and by Google. They're getting all these hits elevated, tell you, oh, marijuana's good, it helps this, it helps with your brain, it helps your mind, it helps your blood. And the thing about it is that sometimes you got to go to a whole nother search engine. Because sometimes you think Google is the only search engine that exists, but there's other search engines out there.
Bing, DuckDuckGo,
Web Crawler, Lycos,
AOL.com,
Alta Vista, and
according to reliable source, 10 most popular search engines, Google held the highest rating and highest market share. 64% of all the searches in February 2016 were powered by Google. Google also dominated the mobile/tablet search engine market share with 89%. Now, why does this matter? Well, because being that Google has so much of the market share of the attention of the average person when they do their searches, all it takes is people promoting various websites that they create, whether it be blogs or other articles, and they post it onto Google, and those searches get promoted on Google with different search optimization software. Then people have the false impression that marijuana is good for them. 420 Intel admits that they're trying to improve the reputation of the image of marijuana on the internet because promoting the marijuana industry makes them money. Not only does 420intel.com make money off of promoting the marijuana industry, but they try to teach others how to promote their content on the web and make money off of marijuana as well. Both Google, Twitter, and Facebook have outlawed all marijuana advertising. So this group encourages people to promote advertising on various websites that push the marijuana industry. Being that these websites are highly optimized, getting higher ranks on search engines of Google, the legitimate sites showing the side effects and dangers of marijuana are never seen by the public, and the public is left deceived. So they just use Google to promote marijuana industry websites, which they use to normalize marijuana. Then 420 Intel tells people to create their own content, create their own personal touch of their own company, like creating blogs. And then they want to promote this through social media in different ways by posting their own pages, their own companies in social media. Even though they don't have an ad up, they've circumvented the whole process by creating their own companies and blogs full of propaganda and unscientific research. For the past 20 years, the marijuana industrial complex has used such marketing tactic to create a demand for a drug with negative health effects on the mind and the body, which are never reported from these sites. You see, these marijuana promoters were never interested in the health of the people who are taking the drug. They're only interested in making money off of gullible people, conned in the cannabis cult communities as their brains, bodies, and futures and wealth withers away.
Don't be a dope. Just say nope. And encourage others to get this t-shirt. Again, the link will be on this video. Thank you, and God bless America, and have a great day. Bye-bye.